here, and happy Hump Day. Today we're going to be talking about all kinds of, well, there he is, Mighty Fall with that host. Thank you so much for that host, buddy. Today we're going to be talking about all kinds of initial setup things for OBS. The very first things you should do. Wait, you've had a cast before? I've had a lot of broken bones before, Turkey Liquor Man. Good morning, Devilish Ducky. How are you? Nice to eat. Morning, buddy.
People are getting dead.
There's that intro.
People are getting dead.
Good to hear. All right, guys. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about the basics, the very first steps you should take. We're not going to get into details about encoders to use or anything like that. We're going to talk about the absolute bare bone basics. So this is geared towards more people who are streaming for or recording for the very first time. So it might be someone who just already a PC gamer and they just want to jump into it, or someone who's been streaming on console for a while and they just got their PC set up and they want to start streaming using OBS there. Mighty Fall, thanks, buddy. Mighty Fall. Sorry to raid and run, but it's my bedtime. My gaming TV, no worries at all. Thank you so much for swinging by. Thank you so much for the host. Absolutely amazing. You guys rock. Thank you. So, the very first thing you're gonna do, let's go ahead and we're gonna put a shortcut for OBS right on the desktop. Let's go, OBS. Boop. We'll put one on the desktop. Now, very first thing you're gonna do, a few things actually.
On speed. Button and that. Button and speed and put it.
Mighty Fall, gotta run off to work, but see you everyone later. Have an amazing stream. Thank you so much, pal. Lightning, hi Crash, just got back from a job interview. Hi, the Lightning, how'd it go? Did it go well? Hopefully it did. So the very first thing you're gonna do is you're going to decide what version of OBS to use, 64-bit or 32-bit, and that's going to depend on your computer. If you're on Windows 10, most likely you're going to be running a 64-bit operating system. The way to do that is to go into Settings, System, and go to About. You can see right there, 64-bit operating system. So you're going to want to run the 64-bit version of OBS to start. Give that a shot. Rigged, Turkey Lurking Man has won, because Turkey Lurking Man was the only one who put his name in the draw. So yeah, so you're going to want to run a 64-bit version of OBS, because 64-bit operating system. If you have a 32-bit, you're running a 32-bit version of OBS. Next thing you want to do before you fire up OBS is you want to make it so that it starts up in administrator mode. And the reason you want to do this is you want to give OBS access to some important system information. OBS, it uses all kinds of tips, it uses all kinds of tricks to capture your screen, your video input, things like that, and just tie into the system. Generally, you're going to run into less issues if you run as administrator. So the one way to do this is, there's a couple ways to do this. One, you can right-click and run as administrator every single time, but that's kind of a tedious process. You always want to run it as administrator, so you go into Properties, Advanced, Run as Administrator. And you want to check that and always run that on that one link. Remember, if you have a link here and a link in the taskbar and a link everywhere else, each one you use is gonna have to have this property attached. If you look down here, I can't do that because it's running right now. But this link down in the bottom, I have it so that it runs as administrator. The one way down here in the bottom. So now that you fired it up, what are the next things you should do right off the bat? Well, you're gonna have a completely blank screen, so completely ignore everything that I have here. It does not exist. So the very first thing you're gonna do is when you fire it up, it's gonna ask if you want to do the auto configuration. You guys can do that. It's not going to give you the most efficient way of doing things. It's not going to give you the best quality, but it is going to give you something that will just work. So you guys can do that, and then you can dial it in after the fact. If you want to manually do it, I do have other videos on how to do that. I've posted them. I am posting them to YouTube on how to set up the encoder and everything like that. But using the where is it? There's the automatic auto configuration wizard right there. that works actually pretty damn well. So you may as well just go ahead and use that. It'll ask you if you want to do that when you first fire it up anyways. Yes, I know I need to change your intro to the Lightning. I just have not had time. Excuse me. So, we're going to be looking into some other things here. What's the best way to set up your scene? Because what's going to happen is when you do the auto configuration wizard, it's going to take just, you know, the basic encoding things. It's not going to know what you're going to plug into the scene. So things like animations, like I have right, there. That's going to take quite a bit of resources. So if you're finding your computer's running slow, your stream, you're skipping frames, things like that, try to get rid of animations if you have them. They take quite a bit. The Lightning, thank you so much for the host. The Real Baggins Crash Smash. The Real Baggins, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the stream. So animations, things like that, they are going to take a lot of resources to use. So if you're finding that you're having issues, just disable all of those. If you can, like right now, try to limit how many images you have. With me, they're all just the same image, and it's just duplicates of each other. So it's loading the same image one time, and then it just plugs it in each corner. The Real Baggins coming in with that bitty bomb. As always, Real Baggins, thank you so much. Like Trixie had, exactly. Trixie had issues as well. The more stuff you have on there, the harder your computer has to work. Real Baggins, thank you so much for the bitty bitties coming in hard. Man, oh man. Baggins, thank you so much, dude.
Yay!
Damn, jeez, look at those bitty bombs coming in. Real Baggins, thank you so much for the bitty bombs. Okay, so now we're going to look at some of the basics that you want to have. So when you first fire it up, you're going to look a little bit different. The layout's going to be different. Your audio is going to be to the other side. I prefer it this way. You can move everything around here. View, toolbars. Thank you so much, Real Baggins, for the bitties touchdown right there. So you can actually move everything around. You can lock the UI. You can move things around. You can have these windows floating, and you can readjust everything. I think generally you're gonna look something like this, with everything visible on the bottom, along with scene transitions. So you're gonna have all this. This is what you're gonna look like when you first start up. So on your left are all your scenes. So think of scenes as each screen is how they are. So if I click full cam, it goes to a full cam screen. Be Right Back goes there. It switches around. These are the different windows. These are all the items within the window, and they kind of stack from top to bottom. So if you have something on the very top of the list here, it's going to appear everywhere else. The best way to explain it, explain the layers, is imagine you have a whole bunch of pieces of paper, and you stack them up. And some of them have cutouts in them, some of them don't. The ones that are on top, of course, you're going to see. And then as you go down, you're going to start burying the other ones. And that's how this is set up, this whole menu right here. The ones that are on top are going to be fully visible. Nothing's going to be blocking them. And as you go down, the things above them block them. So right here, if I let's pick one right here. So in the bottom right, this one right here, you can see this box here is covering my camera. If I take this and I slide my camera up to the very top, all of a sudden my camera's sitting on top of that one. That's this one here. Bottom right info. There we go. So right there, you can see switching it between those two right there. Format C, welcome to the stream, buddy. Real Baggins, back to work, you mother conductor. Later, Baggins, thank you so much. Thank you, Format C, and good afternoon to you, Supreme Strawberry. How are you? Welcome to the stream. So you guys can see that the layer list, the sources, are like a stack of paper. And you can shuffle them around however you want, and the ones that are closer to the top of the list sit on top of the pile. So right now you can see my webcam is right here. You can put it up in front of or behind other layers. Now I got to remember where the heck I put it. I think it was right about there. I think that's where I had it. Let's see. Murray the Maple Moose, I think, always went in front of me. Yeah, Murray the Maple Moose goes in front of me, so that's good. That's good right there. So that should be it. So that's how you lay out the scenes and the sources. Now, the scenes on this side, it doesn't matter what order they go in. Organize it in a way that's easiest for you. The way I do it is I go from starting the stream to ending the stream. That's the way I do it. So my starting soon screen, my intro, my main screen, my full cam, which would be when I eat the sub, actually, we can rename that. Full cam, sub, eat. Let's go back in here. So I just named that sub, eat because that makes more sense to me. For turkey with the face smash. Uh-oh, Format C, what happened to your GPU? Well, Turkey Lurkey, man, you could game-ish. You just need to learn to use a keyboard and mouse with one hand. I mean, what's so hard about that? Anyways, so we have that all set up. Right here are the audio sources. We did talk about this in another Humpday Help stream a few weeks back. All the different audio sources, the way you can work with it. We can go into more detail there. But basically, as soon as you add a video or a sound clip or anything in here, or you have your default, you add a default audio source here, it shows up in this bar, and these are your volume sliders, so you can adjust the volume right there. Like I said, to get into more detail, you can look into a previous video I did. When this goes on YouTube, the link will be down below or up in the top corner. Format C, having your GPU clock at 12:02 at idle. Scene transitions now. This is going to be what happens when you're switching between scenes. If you're not in studio mode, and we'll get into that in a little bit, what studio mode is. If you're not in studio mode, this is how you're going to, the default method for switching between scenes. So right now I have it set to fade. So if I switch to sub eat, you're going to see it's going to fade. Or not. It didn't want to fade. So we're going to switch. There we go. So we got the fade. We're going to switch back over to the sub eat here. Why is that not working? There we go. We're going to switch now back to the sub eat, and you're going to see we're going to have a fade transit. A Luma wipe is what I have here as a transition on studio mode. And this is what studio mode is. Basically, you have two screens here. This is what you're actually broadcasting, and this one here is what you're basically preloading. Your preview, and you can choose how you want to switch between them. So let's do a Luma wipe transition to this scene over here. There we go. So that was a bit of a Luma wipe. We're going to switch back. You can see I have a pixelated Luma wipe switching back and forth. We can also change that, so we can go to a cut, a fade, a swipe. So there's the swipe right there. So we can go a swipe transition. And you can edit those as well. And you have quick transitions that you can choose. But that is studio mode. Basically what it does is preload the tab. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't have studio mode and you have lots of sources on the screen. If you only have one or two things on the screen, it really doesn't add up. It's not too bad. But with me, I have a ton of sources here. As you can see right here, there are a ton of sources that I have on this scene. I have so many things on here. It actually gets a little bit choppy at times when I switch between them. So if I switch over to let's switch over to my be right back screen or my thank you screen, and then we'll switch back to this. And what it should be is a smooth fade, one direction and the other direction. So let's try that. Well, a swipe. It should be the swipe is what I accidentally have it still set to. There, fade. So it should fade back to the main screen right now. But you see how there's a little bit of a chop. There wasn't the smooth transition. And that's because I don't have studio mode. I don't have it preloaded. So we're going to go here. We're going to have the be right back screen, the thank screen loaded up. So we're going to preload it. So we're going to get a smooth transition to that. And we can get a smooth transition back, because what's going to happen is this window right here, this this scene right here is going to load into the preview. So it's loading all the resources, preloading the resources. The downside to that is that it takes more resources on your computer because you have to have 2 scenes loaded at once instead of just one. So if we switch over to the other scene, to the thank you scene, there should be a smooth transition because the scene's preloaded. And when we switch back to the main screen, same thing again. We're going to switch back, and it's going to be a nice smooth transition because I have it open in studio mode. Scene is preloaded, nice and smooth back over again there. And that's one thing, that's odd format. See, what am I running at here? Oh, right now, no. That's actually doesn't seem too bad. What do you normally idle at, Format C, for your GPU? Because my normal idle, I think my normal idle's at about 1033, somewhere in there. And then when OBS is running, I'm 1633, and then I run up to 2000 when it really gets cranked up. Anyways, studio mode cleared out. So those are the real basics. I don't like having scene transitions on there. That's personal preference. You do what you like. You can lock the UI so don't move stuff around because I accidentally do that a lot, and it makes a mess of things. You also have all the locks that you can set right here. In your scene, by default, your preview is not locked, so you can see that there's red boxes everywhere around all different things. Now, if you want to be able to move some things around, but you want other things locked so you can't touch them, say Maple Monday, Humpday Help, and Friendly Fire Friday, I don't want them moving. So right there, I'm locking the Humpday Help stream. I move it like this right now. If I hit this lock button, boop, I can't move it anymore. So you can lock individual layers instead of having to lock the entire scene if you want to make it so some things you can move, other things you can't. That's an easy way to do it. There is also a few other things. Transform, that's to move everything around, so you can get that by right-clicking as well. Transform is stretching things, resizing things, flipping things, moving them around the screen. So if you want to get precise on where you want everything to be on your screen, you can use the transform tool. So if I want transform, edit transform, we'll quickly go over this, and I just slap my lips. That's odd format, see? You should see what's using your, is anything using your GPU at idle? Control Delete should show that. Your resource monitor. Anyways, select an item to transform. So right now we have Humpday Help stream. It is locked. Let's unlock that. And you can choose the anchor point. So that's going to be where is this point relative to. So it says position is 0, 0. And that's in the top left. So right up there. iStealth coming in with that host. Thank you so much, iStealth, for that host. Amazeballs. So you can see that's attached at 0, 0. The top left is your 0, 0. As you go across, numbers go up that way. And as you go down, numbers go up that way. So we have 1920 across, because I have a 1920 canvas. We'll get into that a little bit. By 1080 down. So let's change the anchor here and see what happens. So if we go, put it in the center, in the dead center of the image. Boop. It moves this whole thing over. And you can see why. Look at how big that square is. I made it so it fits perfectly in. It locks in where it should be. Now you can see center position. You can see all the numbers move right there. Now since it's center, right there is the center point of this image. The position is 960 by 540. So that's 1920 divided by 2. And 1080 divided by 2. That puts us right in the middle there. Rotation, you can rotate it as you want to. Throw it at 45 degrees. And it rotates it on that center point because that's center. Bounding box, stretch to the bounds, scale to inner bounds. So if you define a size and you want it to stretch to fit that size, you just put it there. Alignment and bounding box. Where you want it to sit inside the box, you define bounding box size right there. Stretch to bounds. So right here, say you want your bounding box to be, let's put this down to 1280 by 720. And then right there, no bounds. So right there, I've scaled it down to 1280 by 720. And, but I want it to stretch to 1920 by 1080. You can either stretch it by changing the size, or you can set the bounding box. Now, say you didn't want it to stretch proportionally. Let's go. You wanted it to fit in a square. 1080. And you can see, okay, I wanted a perfect square in the middle. Humbucker, thank you so much for the host. Queen Kiwi, how are you? Welcome to the stream. So you can see there's different options right here. Stretch to bounds, stretch to inner bounds, or scale to inner bounds, scale to outer bounds. So what it does is scale to inner bounds will take... There he goes. Happy Valentine's down, everyone. Who wants to get French? Jeez. So scale to inner bounds is going to take the biggest side of your image and fit it inside. Scale to outer bounds is going to take the largest side, scale it the other way. You can mess around a little bit. Scale the width of bounds, scale the height of bounds, and that can override. In this case, it didn't matter. It was the same thing as going inner bounds, outer bounds, but if it's rotated one way, it'll do that, and maximum size only. So this maximum size only means no matter how small this box is, you're going to be able to see all this image, and it's going to stay proportional. And alignment and bounding box, you can go top left, so it anchors up here. You can go center, so that it anchors right in the middle of this box. So that way, if you have something that you need your say your cam box or something to fit in, it has to fit in a certain size. You can define that here with the bounding box type. Let's put this back to how it was. 1920 by 1080. And with me, the way I always do this, if you guys are making your own graphics and you know exactly where you want something to be on your layout, what you can do is make it the exact same size as your canvas, which we'll get into next. So you can just plop it right in. So we're going to go transform, reset transform. So by default, it wants to sit right there. Because I made it 1920 by 1080, it wants to fit in there, and it wants to sit right where I designed it to be. We'll lock that preview again. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. AJN Gaming, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Now, some of you are going to be thinking, this is really weird. I have all these audio sources. Nothing's coming through desktop audio. Everything's just coming through the mixer input. That's because I have a hardware mixer. And all of my audio, all the audio you hear on the stream, everything that goes into the stream always goes first into my mixer. So I hear everything that you hear. And then it gets pumped back into the stream. So I even hear myself talking, and I can tell how loud I am and if I'm clipping or anything like that. And then it all gets pumped in one stream in mixer input, and I control everything with dials and knobs and whatnot. That I believe that's also on that audio Humpday stream that I did a little while back. Excuse me. Okay, what's next? Let's look down in the bottom right here. Let's take a little bit of a look down here. So this right here, you guys should always be paying attention. Excuse me. James OG, how are you, buddy? Happy Singles Awareness Day, everybody. Hope everyone isn't spending it sick like me. You know what's nice? I ain't spending anything today. No, because my wife and I did Valentine's Day last week. We did a really nice date night last week. And because we hate going out on Valentine's because it's just overpriced and booked. It's hard to have an intimate night out when you're jam-packed like sardines in a restaurant with hundreds of other people. Yay! Who cheered? AGN Gaming with the cheers. Thank you so much for the bitties. Yeah, I'm married. Married for just over 7 years. Okay, so anyways, guys, this is something you want to pay attention to down on the bottom. This is really, really important. You should always have one eye on it. Yes, you're going to look funny. You're going to look all wall-eyed and everything, but keep an eye on this bottom bar right here, no matter what. Try to have it so you can always see this bar. If you have two monitors, the thing you should have up on the screen, you should have your chat. On the second screen, you have your game here or whatever you're doing on your main monitor. And on your second monitor, OBS and your chat. And Subscriber? What? Subscriber! 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 Thank you so much, Bean Squatch, for that resub, dude! Absolutely amazing. Bean Squatch, thank you for 2 months. How are you today? Bean Squatch, thank you so much. You know the drill, buddy. Meat time, lunch meat, chicken or nails. Nice, 288. The wife and I are going to sit at home and hang out on the couch, and she's going to watch me play games. That is sweet. That's sweet. Aww. Apex9, thank you. So, Bean, you get to choose, buddy. Lunch meat it is. Let's throw lunch meat on that sub. There we go. That's why I love my stream deck. Just push some buttons. I got lunch meat on the sub. Anyways, let's continue why this is so important. So, you have some very important information down here. You have dropped frames. Now, dropped frames can mean a few things. It can mean that you're having an encoder overload, which you'll get a warning down in this corner. If there's anything major going on, any major issues, it's going to show up with an alert down here in this status bar. So keep an eye on the status bar, guys. This is really important. All your critical information on if your stream is crashing or lagging or anything like that, it's all going to be right here. So keep an eye on that. So on the left side, you're going to have any important information. If there's errors, they're going to pop up right there. The most common one that you guys are going to see is going to be encoder overload. And lots of the time that'll happen with an X264 encoder that's using your CPU. I went over that in another Humpday Help stream earlier. You can look that up later. Can't hear anything because my work is loud. Hope you have an awesome stream, though. Thanks, Bean Squatch. You rock, buddy. Okay, the Lightning has a few questions. So, Lightning, I'll go through all these on the bottom, and then I'll answer any questions about. What? What? Subscriber! 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 I love it! I love it! Nice! 288 gifting a sub to the Lightning. Thank you so much, Nice 288 for that sub. The Lightning, congratulations, buddy. You know how it goes. You get to choose lettuce, cheese, or dirty sock. What would you like to see on that sub, the Lightning? Cheese it is. All right. So, getting back to this. Dropped frames. So, of course, you're aiming for 0 drop frames. And so far, so good for me. I got 0 drop frames. Now, drop frames will be if you're having an encoder overload, you're having a network issue, so your router, anything like that. So, it's frames that just cannot be processed and not be sent out. At all. So any drop frames, these are frames that are not being sent to Twitch. These are frames that your viewer is going to miss. Okay? Live, obviously, that's how long it's been since you hit the go button. Recording. If you're recording at the same time as streaming, or if you're recording instead of streaming, that's how long you've been going for. CPU. Now, there's a little bit of confusion about this. CPU is not how much CPU you're using overall. It's how much CPU OBS is using. You still have all the other programs. There is no sweet number for OBS. As low as you can get it, that's where you want it to be. So right now you can see I have quite a few resources. I have an animation. I have things scrolling. I have all kinds of stuff going on. So that's sitting at 10%. I'm also streaming right now using X264 using my CPU. So I'm actually sitting pretty good. I have a ton of stuff going on the screen here. I have scrolling things. I have an animation. And I'm streaming using my CPU, and I'm sitting at 10%, so I'm doing okay. Some people, as soon as you hit the go button, even if you don't have anything on the screen, you'll be up in the 60-70% range. With me, I was sitting on my old computer. I was using my Mac in boot camp in Windows mode to stream, and I'd be sitting up around 90% when I was streaming using my capture card. So there's no way I could stream anything from my computer, really. I mean, you're going to want to leave some overhead. Keep your CPU usage as low as you can. If you're finding that there's too much crap going on, try to get rid of any animations. Animations will be the first to go. As for laying a whole bunch of stuff over top, your overlays and whatnot, static images won't take as much CPU resources, but they will take up a lot of resources on your graphics card. Excuse me. Okay. And right here, your frames per second. Now, same thing. If your computer's getting overloaded, your graphics card is getting overloaded, anything like that. So it could be multiple things. It could be that your CPU, your processor, is working too hard. It could be that your graphics card is working too hard. It could be that your RAM, you don't have enough RAM, and your RAM is maxed out. It can be anything. Basically, if any of your major system components are maxed out, you're probably going to see a frame rate drop. It's Sportsy, how are you? I was wondering when or if you're doing Stream Elements Q&A. I have questions for that. Oh, Stream Elements. I actually do have that. It's Streaming 101, I believe. I have that on YouTube. You can check it out. I did go through Stream Elements step by step. So you guys can check it out. YouTube. There you go. It's up there. My last 3 Humpday Help streams, I've sent them to YouTube. I just need to do the proper thumbnails and all that stuff. So they're uploaded. They're ready to go. They'll be there shortly. And this one will be there in 24 hours as well. So we have 60 frames per second here. And then we have your box, your colored box. Green is good. Yellow is not. Red is, oh crap, something is terribly, terribly wrong. And this is your network connection, basically. This means data is being sent well. Here is the rate is being sent at, but I mean, pay attention to this right here. This is a big thing right here. Green, yellow, red. If you're green, you're good. Yellow, you got something you have to look into. Maybe you're running over Wi-Fi and you shouldn't be. Remember, guys, if you are streaming, try not to stream over Wi-Fi. It's very inconsistent. And what can happen is if you're the only device on Wi-Fi and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 other people hop on, you have to share the bandwidth with everybody. You have to share the bands with everybody, and it actually will slow down because you're gonna tend to jump around between everyone there. The way the Wi-Fi works is it's not like a dedicated cable. It kind of picks and chooses and bounces between everybody for the most part. I mean, the newer technologies are better, but if you can plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. So that bottom bar right there, that should be a massive, massive focus of yours while you're streaming. Let's see. Let me see if I missed anything. So guys, just before I go on, Absolute Power, thank you so much for that, host. I don't know why. Some hosts are showing up and some aren't in my event log. It's weird as all hell. No idea what's going on. I gotta look into that with Streamlabs chatbot. I think I have to do a reinstall. Hate it when I have to do that. Okay, so we went over the basics here. Before I continue on, are there any questions that you guys have? Good morning, Absolute Power. Coffee time. Logan Tyler LT, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, drop them as we go. Just tag me so my name gets highlighted and I can see in the chat, and I'll address it. Now, let's go into the basics and the settings. So, in general, this is all choose what you want. Automatically check for updates on startup. Now, one thing I would recommend, guys, you can check for updates, but if OBS is working, leave it alone. You do not have to update every single one. The only time I update is if there's a major release that has a whole bunch of new features that I know I will utilize. Or 2, the security update. Those are the only times I update anything. Because chances are, when you update, if you don't need to update, even if you need to update, chances are something will break and you'll need to fix it. So keep your updates to a minimum. Only update when you absolutely have to. And that goes for everything, all your software that you use, especially for streaming. Because, like I said, chances are it's going to break. So only update if, 1, it has a bunch of features that you know you need to use. I did the latest OBS update because it has some amazing audio features that I've really utilized. And if there's security updates, always do the security updates, guys. Actually, humbucker, yes. If at any point it crashes, would it help to turn it off and turn it back on? I know you're being sarcastic, but yes, it actually does sometimes. Oh, it's Sportsy coming in with a dad joke right away here. Crash, if you work on a farm and you have to take care of all the chickens, does that mean you're a chicken tender? Dad joke. Okay, so this is all right here. What I recommend, these here are my recommendations. Show confirmation dialog when streams start, when starting streams, and show confirmation dialog when stopping streams. Yes and yes. I have had it before where I've accidentally clicked the button. Where I accidentally go, oh, da, 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 and all of a sudden the stream stops and I'm screwed. So I want this dialog to pop up. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? No. Keep it going. So just enable that, guys. It's a really simple thing to do. Just remember that you have that box that pops up. Some of you like to hit the button and then that's it, you walk away. And you get up and you're not wearing pants or whatever. But I'd rather have it so I don't kill the stream and just be aware that I have to hit that confirmation box. That fires up. You won't even be able to close OBS if you have that dialogue open anyways. A chicken select. I don't know, humbucker. Chicken select. Not sure. Anyways, source alignment snapping. So that means when you're moving stuff around, it snaps to the screen. So let's move some stuff around. So right here we have the Humpday Help stream. You can see it moving around and then boop, it clicks it. It kind of clicks it to things you already have. So you can line stuff up easily. So boop, it clicked it to the corner and boop, clicked it into the corner. Nice and easy to do. So that is source alignment. Snap sensitivity. If you're finding that you're getting annoyed because it's clicking to something when it shouldn't and all kinds of other stuff. Snap edges to edge of screen, snap to other sources, snap to horizontal and vertical center. I don't know why I had that disabled. I want that. That way it automatically centers everything. Ooh. But here's one other thing you guys might not know. Keep an eye on the Humpday Help stream. Say I want to move it up just a little bit, use your arrow keys. You can use your arrow keys to adjust it, to move it around. If you just want to fine tune it, click it in the preview here. Make sure you have the right one selected, because watch what happens if I click it again. It goes to the next one down. So make sure you have the right one selected, and then move it around using the arrow keys. So keep that in mind. Now there's another thing you can do, transform. We'll reset the transform. Say something comes in and it's that big. Like, oh crap, I want to stretch it to the screen. I see this. Giz98, how are you? One thing I see all the time, guys, and this drives me crazy. Is people going like this. Okay, I have this window this big. Let's bring it up that big. Oh, it'll get it close. They don't have snap on, don't have anything on. Yeah, you can just drag it with a snap. But here's an easy thing to do. Right click on it. Transform. Fit to screen. Done. That's it. You're done. Don't worry about dragging and making it kind of sort of fit. No, that's close enough. Right click, transform, fit to screen. Other thing you can do is if you're right here, there it is right there. Transform, center to screen. Transform, stretch to screen. You have all these options to make it fit. Don't drag around and try to just, get it close enough. You can get it bang on very easily by right-clicking, going into the transform menu, and make it fit. So I'm going to reset the transform on it, because that's where I had it. I had it reset. It's just by default. That's where it ends up. Amberkins, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, right? Arrow keys make it so much easier. Christian, 1976, thank you so much for that lurk. Absolutely amazing. Getting over with the flu, and the worst part is done and over with, so it's going good. Awesome, Logan Tire. Glad, not awesome that you're dealing with the flu, but awesome that you're getting better. So, other little tips and tricks, deinterlacing. Generally, you guys won't have to worry about this. These are just different filters. If you have an interlaced connection, or interlaced source. So, basically, interlaced means there's two settings, interlaced and progressive. And when you guys see 1080p, that means 1080 progressive, and that means the entire image, 1920 by 1080, is shown at once. Whereas if it's interlaced, that means half of them are shown at once. So, for example, if it's a 1080i, you don't have all. It kind of it's 1080 rows across. If it's 1080i, that means it only shows 540 of those rows in one frame. Then the next frame it shows the alternating. So it'll be even rows, odd rows, even rows, odd rows. And that's interlaced. So it tricks your eye. The clarity is not there because it's only showing half as many frames, but it just flickers fast enough that you don't notice it.
Subscriber! Subscriber!
Subscriber!
Subscriber! Subscriber! Subscriber! Subscriber!
Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Who is that now? Logan Tyler. 2 months in a row. Thank you so much. And we get to finish the sub. Let's drag this over here because this is where it belongs. This is where it belongs over on that screen when I'm eating the sub so we can line everything up. Logan Tyler, sub with Prime. Thank you so much for choosing me. Choosing this channel to sub with Prime. Yeah. You know how it goes, buddy. You get to choose ketchup, mayo, or engine grease. What do you want to see on this sub? Holy moly. Which one of those crashes is real? All of them. All of them. What would you like to see, Logan? Ketchup, mayo, or engine grease? We have completed the sub. We have wrapped it up. It is now ours for the taking. Coffee. Mayo it is. All right, here we go. There's some mayo. Let's hop on over to the sub screen, shall we? Come on. Stream Deck has screwed up on me, has it not? Yeah, Stream Deck has screwed up on me. Let's see, that's still working. Yep, and that's one thing about the Stream Deck, guys. Sometimes it just goes stupid. For whatever reason, sometimes it just goes stupid. Sub eat. There we go. Now we go. There we go. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do, where are we going to be? We're going to be spinning right now. That's where we're going to be. I know, a normal sub. So the other thing we need, when we're here, we have to go with the deep voice. Oh, yeah. Humbucker. Oh, you guys. Always, never fails. Yes, a boneless sub, a normal sub. Damn, look at that sub right there. We have lunch meat, cheese, and mayo. Oh, yeah. Let's throw the top on that sub and let's chow down. Oh, yeah. Sub! Thank you so much for the support. Absolutely amazing. You guys rock. Thank you so much for the support. Logan Tyler with that resub. Nice doing it with the gift sub to the Lightning and Bean Squatch for 2 months. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Let's reset this sub. We'll get back into talking about, you know, all the fun and fascinating and boring OBS stuff, but the stuff that everybody should know about. Callahorn, you missed it, buddy. You missed it. Almost in sync. I know it's super hard for me to get it. It's a challenge because I have my sub time, so it's every second a bite is taken, and I have to time myself. I don't have a button to push to make it disappear, so I have to try to time it and match my timing of my animation. It's difficult. Humbucker, you are an interesting individual. We'll go with that. Okay, what time are we at? 7:54. We have a little bit of time. So I think I've talked enough about the basics. Now, guys, let's open up the floor. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and ask, and I will. We'll talk about them. We'll go over your questions. We'll address your issues. No, wait. There's one more very, very, very important thing that you guys have to do. If you're streaming, remember, guys, streaming should be your priority. Okay, streaming should be the priority system, the priority thing on your computer. Shut down everything else if you need to. Make it so streaming is priority. And one easy way to kind of help out with that is go into the advanced settings. Process priority high. Set that to high. So right there, boom, go into advanced settings, process priority high. Do it, and do it. That's, you absolutely have to do that. I've covered everything else in all these menus in some of the previous Humpday Help streams. I'll bring it up again in a future one if we get requests. But guys, let's ask. Let's see what you guys have questions about, and we'll spend a little bit of time talking about There we go. Get some Naruto going. So let's see. What do you guys have here? Had to make a normal one. Love the sub announcement, by the way. Thank you very much. I think the Kool-Aid guy from... Oh, the Kool-Aid man. Jumping through the wall should be... Oh, yeah. Let's see. Is to invest in Radio Muffin? Yes. The Family Guy one. Yeah, so guys, if there's any questions, I think we've covered all the basics for just starting out. Like I said, guys, if you are just starting out and you just want to get going, use the auto configuration wizard. It doesn't give you the most efficient way to do things. It doesn't give you the best way to do things, but it gives you a way that will work. So try that out. For me, I have been using this computer for over a year. I know the sweet spot with this computer. I know what I can stream at. I know what it can handle, and I've dialed it in beautifully. And I have certain things set up. Tiki, 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 oi, oi, oi. Lunex coming in with rounds for the house. 150 Sammys, everybody. Wabambo. Hello, Lunex. So, use the auto configuration wizard when you first fire up OBS. Don't worry too much about tweaking it right at that point. Let's just get it up and running. Auto configuration wizard, like I said, it'll just give you something that'll work. It will not be the most efficient, it will not be the best, but it will work. Otherwise, it's gonna straight up tell you, hey, you're not up to par. And guys, remember, streaming is a very, very intense thing. It really sucks a lot of resources on your computer, guys. Make sure you have the hardware to do it. It sucks a lot of resources. Don't try doing it. I wouldn't recommend you try doing it at 1080p on your 7-year-old laptop that you got at a flea market. Okay, you do need some respectable hardware to stream decently. It's up to you what you want to do. But here, my opinion. We'll end with that. Oh, actually, hold on. No, Radio Muffin, I have literally had no time to do anything with the keypads. Radio Muffin has been working really hard and and you guys might remember using my the homemade Stream Deck video. And with some people that doesn't work. With me, I didn't run into issues when I did my video. I did a bunch of testing. I didn't run into issues. But with some other people, it doesn't work. So Radio Muffin was one of those people and did a whole bunch of research and was able to figure out, was able to make things work. So it has an entire keyboard as hotkeys, and we're going to work together, and we'll see if we can give some nice instructions for everybody here. But just to end things off, I'm going to give my opinion on a stream. With your stream, guys, and I see this way too much. Your stream should be priority. Don't worry about having kick-ass graphics in the game if you're streaming. Set your graphics low, make your stream good quality. That's my opinion. It's no good. It's no good if you're getting 100,000 frames per second with ultra high quality in your game and your stream is going at 5 frames per second. You're not going to have people sticking around. I mean, there's people that I really enjoy listening to, but I just cannot watch their stream because it's so laggy. To me, that just drives me nuts, and I can't stick around. I try to be supportive. I try to stick around, but the lag is just, it ruins it for me, guys. Same kind of thing. If you're watching a TV show, you're watching anything else, what are you going to do if it's always stuttering, right? You're going to change the channel and hope that something else better is on. So take the time, try to dial it in a little bit, and make sure that your stream is priority when you're streaming. Drop the graphics down. Like I was saying before, there's a few components here that OBS relies on. You need RAM, you need overhead on your RAM, you need a decent processor, and you need a decent graphics card. And the reason you need a decent graphics card in OBS is because all of this here, all the overlay, what it does is all these layers here, they're put together, they're sandwiched together using your graphics card. The same part of your graphics card that gives you a bajillion frames per second in PUBG, that same part is putting all these layers together. So if you're finding that you can't keep a decent frame rate in games, even when you've dropped the quality in game, and stream at the same time, get rid of all this crap. Have just your cam, have just your name, get rid of stuff. If you can't keep up, get rid of it. Okay? So that's one big thing right there. You'll be able to see. Go Control-Alt-Delete, go Task Manager, and look right here. OBS right now, look at that. I'm using a total of 15.1%, around 15% CPU, 2 gigs of RAM, just sitting here. I'm not streaming a game, I'm not doing anything intensive. This is just my overlay, nothing major. I'm using 2 gigs of RAM just to sit here. Network, that's sitting around there. But look at this. I have a GTX 1070 overclocked, and I'm using 12 to 13% of my graphics card. Just sitting here. So it does use a lot of your graphics card. One thing we can do is we're going to go to full screen capture. Blank monitor capture. There we go. So I don't have my camera. I don't have anything else. Look at how much that dropped. Look at how much that dropped. I don't have anything on my screen now. Nothing. It dropped down to 6.8, 6.9. It's sitting between 6 and 7%. Okay, so I dropped it down pretty much in half by doing that. By getting rid of all the overlay stuff. If I just add my camera and my name, let's just do that. We'll do a V5 bat. We'll add in a video capture device. We'll add in my webcam. Actually, we'll add in just my webcam. Video capture device. Add in the webcam. Hi! We're gonna take that. We'll lower that down. Just adding the webcam in. Look at how much that went up. 8%. I went up. We'll lower that. 7%. We went up a percent or two by adding just the webcam. Bap, we'll add that in. Let's add an image in. We'll just add my name. Add existing. That's V5. V5 backdrop. No, V5 overlay. Boop. Just a very basic overlay. It didn't add a lot. It added 0.5%. It's a still image. But right there, you see that? We jumped up. So the more components you add, the more it's going to eat up your resources. So let's get rid of the overlay. Let's get rid of the webcam. Now, let's open this back up. Task Manager. Watch this. Performance. CPU, you can see that. There is GPU right there. Now let's switch over. Let's switch over to the main screen V5. Watch the spike that happens. There's that spike. Doesn't look huge, but it's there. You got that little bit of a spike. We've doubled our usage. Look at that CPU spike as well. We've gone up a bit. Memory, gone up a little bit as well, because we loaded all the resources into memory. We've kind of equalized a little bit, but you can see how adding all these in, you guys wouldn't, not many people realize, the more things you plug in here, the more it's using it. And that's part of your graphics card. That's 16% right there, or that 8%, that's 7% when there was nothing else on the screen. That's taking away from your frame rates in game. So your graphics card is just as important in OBS as your central processor, your CPU or your RAM. Anyways, let's talk to the chat. Let's close this up. Yeah, exactly. Mom, I need a gaming PC. Buys a cheap Windows 7 laptop. Yeah, right? No, I play PUBG on Windows 3.1. Yeah. Radio Muffin, VSync is your friend. Yes, but remember, VSync is a resource hog. So you have to try it. Now, one really quick thing. I've talked about it before. I don't want to get too much into it. But right now, you can see I'm streaming at 60 frames per second. So if you're playing a game, don't play your game at, if you're streaming at 60, don't play your game at 87 frames per second. Lock your frame rate in. And you can do that multiple ways. You can actually set a frame rate, a max frame rate, at 60. So it syncs up. Because what's going to happen too is if you're running at 60 frames per second here and you're running at 87, your graphics card has to do extra work to kind of pop out the odd frame to bring it down to 60 so that it can stream it. So that's going to take a lot of resources. It's going to take a lot away from your graphics card as well. VSync generally takes a lot more horsepower to make it work. The way VSync works is it renders the entire frame before sending it to your monitor. So that way you don't get the screen tearing. It also generally locks it to your screen refresh rate. So right now my monitor is a 60 hertz monitor, so it locks it in at 60 hertz. How much RAM would be a good amount? You want minimum 8 gigs of RAM, in my opinion, nowadays for basically anything. 4 gigs, yeah. Minimum 8 gigs. What I would recommend is you actually have 16 gigs of RAM if you're doing anything like streaming and whatnot. As it stands right now, I just sitting here, not doing anything else. I'm using, let's see, I think I'm using 25% of my RAM. Performance, memory, nope, there we go. 41% of my 16 gigs right now. Not really doing anything. All I have open is Spotify, Latch Tools. I have just my streaming components open. I'm not gaming, although games don't take a ton of RAM. But I'm using half of it right now. If I only had 8 gigs of RAM, I mean, I'd have most of it tapped out already. And then that's when you start running into issues. You do want to have overhead with RAM. So I would highly recommend you try to go for 16. Now keep in mind, guys, right now, RAM is extremely overpriced and graphics cards are overpriced. So I would just make do with what you have right now, unless you can get a really good deal. But everything has skyrocketed in pricing. Grand Duty, thank you so much for that host as well, buddy. MS-DOS 6 for PUBG. Now there is hardcore right there, Lunex. Radio Muffin. Just finishing work. Catch you soon. Radio Muffin, thank you so much for coming by, buddy. And we will touch base as soon as I get time. I'm stupid busy. The prices are nuts. The prices are butts. The prices are butts. Yeah. Let's actually go here, and I'm going to show you some prices for some common graphics cards and some RAM, okay? Browse by individual parts. Let's go memory first. And we'll go Corsair Vengeance LPX. There we go. LPX, 2 8 gig sticks right there. We'll take DDR 3000. Look at the price. No, actually, the price isn't that bad. The price for this has actually stuck around really good. Wow. Get some Corsair Vengeance 16 gig 3000. Geez, the price for this has been really good. It's even dropped. What? Wow, that proved me wrong. Guys, right there, Corsair Vengeance LPX. What about 2400? Yeah, the price has gone up on 2400. I think the reason being is because the 3000, not many people get it. I mean, with Intel, with Intel-based chips, your i3, i5, i7s, you don't see a massive improvement from faster RAM, whereas Ryzen's you do. So lots of people will go with the cheaper RAM down here, the 2400s. And you can see here that there has been a price go up on that, but the more expensive RAM stayed steady, actually. That's surprising. But here, this is something because of damn crypto miners. Try looking at this, an RX 580. Let's just pick an RX 580. Let's pick MSI. Look at that. Look at the price. Graphics cards here, December until January, and then now, bump. So we were sitting, you know, around $400 for an RX 580 around Christmas. Now it's anywhere from, what is that low one? $454. If you can buy it. Most of them are going to be out of stock. All the way up to sold out $700. Let's see. I may or may not have gotten a free GTX 1050 when Amazon thought my package was lost and reordered for free. Oh, dude. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Sell it for 3 times as much. No. It used to be that only AMD cards were affected by this. But check this out. GTX 1070. Let's pick mine. Asus Strix OG. There we go. That's mine. Okay, that's my graphics card. I got it for, actually in January. I got it over a year. I got it January 2017. And I paid, yeah, around that. $500 actually. It was a little bit lower. But look at this. It's over a year old, this card. Look at the price of it now. Boop. I'm up in the thousands. I paid like $400 or $500 for it. It's doubled in price. So if you guys don't need a graphics card right now, don't get one. If yours kind of sort of works, keep it. There we go. That actually, Lunex, I would actually be okay with that. Okay, he gifted it to a friend. Did you save a kitten, though? Anyways, I think that's it, guys. We've covered pretty much everything that we need to cover today. The basics to get going with OBS. If you guys have any requests on what you'd like to see next Wednesday, let me know in the CrashPad Discord. You guys can check out the CrashPad Discord right there. It's going to come up in the chat. Wabambo. I do have a channel in there for the Humpday Help stream. Anything you want me to cover, we're going to go over. Right now, the last few Humpday Help streams have been basic setup of OBS. We can get into a whole bunch of other things as well. I think I'm going to do one regarding remote play here soon on the PlayStation 4 and how to capture that. I don't have an Xbox, so unfortunately I can't do it with the Xbox app, but it's a similar process. So capturing without a capture card, it kind of sort of works. It does the trick until you can get a capture card, but like I said, like I said before, there is no replacement for an actual capture card. And that is it, guys. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for coming by. Let's go ahead, and we're going to end this the same way we always do. Actually, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to shout out a few teams I'm a member of. I'm, of course, a member of Erox Gaming, an amazing group of gamers, content creators, and streamers that are very supportive. Just super awesome. Awesome group of people. I am a proud leader of Team MZ. I am the membership lead and graphics team lead for Team MZ. We have all kinds of programs and services to help you and your stream grow. Just remember, guys, we provide you the tools and the resources. You have to do the work, okay? You're not getting carried. This is up to you. And, of course, Stream Elements actually called it up right then. I am a proud member of the CrashPad. Just absolutely amazing community. I'm blown away by the amount of support that the CrashPad gives. Everyone in the CrashPad, just thank you so much for everything you do. For those of you who don't know, we held a fundraiser on the weekend for cancer research, and we hit our goal over the weekend of $1,000. We started on Saturday. We hit our $1,000 goal and surpassed it by a bit as well. It was absolutely amazing. It was donated in honor of Patrick Schrader's father. To the Canadian Cancer Society. Anyways, we have the CrashPad Discord where you guys can join in the chat. You can ask questions. You can get advice, whatever you want. Just hang out and just make jokes if you want. We have the CrashPad Twitch community where where you can find CrashPad members all in one convenient place. We have the CrashPad hashtag on Twitter, CrashPad community on Steam, CrashPad Extra Life Team, where we raise money together for sick kids. If you want to be a part of that and you want to help me raise money for sick kids, go ahead and join that team. And of course, the CrashPad merch store, where some of the proceeds go to charity and the rest goes to improving the stream and improving the community. And with that, guys, it is time to bounce. It is time to drop a host bomb. We're going to find somebody in the community, somebody to love, and we're going to drop a host bomb on them. So we're going to start with the CrashPad community. See who's live in the CrashPad. We got Trixie. We got Reapers. Sticky, 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 sticky. Oi, oi, oi. Rounds for the house. Brought in by Logan Tyler. LT. Right there. Let's bonus everybody some Sammys. And guys, I would really love it if you follow me into the host bomb. So right now I'm seeing I've dropped host bombs on everybody here recently. I always start at the CrashPad, but I try to spread the love to people that I haven't dropped host bombs on before or recently at all. Who am I following here that I haven't dropped a host bomb on recently? Let's see who's live in the Team MZ community. Community/official Team MZ. Guys, if you have... Lotulu, how are you? If you guys have any recommendations on who you want to drop a host bomb on, drop it in the chat. Okay? Let's see. Let's see who you know, guys. Introduce me to someone new. You know what? Screw that. You guys pick. You guys pick. Tell me who we're going to be dropping a host bomb on. Lotulu, how are you, buddy? Freezing cold. Erox hype. Lotulu. Erox family right there, guys. Come on, guys, let's see. Who do you have? Who do you want to drop a host bomb on? I want to meet someone new. Let me know who it is. I'm going to check Twitter here, and I'm going to find some rando that's using the Support Small Streamers tag. How's that sound? If nobody drops a name in the chat, that's what we're doing. Support Small Streamers. Who's live, and who has an interesting tweet? Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Come share your love with me over at... Okay, someone's put effort into their tweet. Happy Valentine's Day, lovely people. There would be no stream tonight. Well, I guess you're not live. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. You know what? This person has put some effort in. Oh! That's too bad. I want to find someone who's actually live right now. Let's go back a few minutes. Bum, bada, bum. Because Binky is on. Why do I... Okay, so there's Bemused Binky. Bemused Binky is on. But I'm already following them. I want to meet someone new. I know Smee. And Smee's a great guy. But I want to meet someone new. Someone I'm not following. Sure. Why don't we meet them? Why don't we meet them? So guys, when we head over there, that's who we're going to go visit. When we head over there, I want you to say in the chat, crashing this party. And I want you to drop us, I want you to slam some emotes in there. Spam those emotes for 10 to 15 seconds, guys. Not longer than that, though. That's annoying as shit. Spam those emotes. If you have crash heads, go ahead and use those. If not, don't worry. Use your favorite emotes. And I always throw in 32 itty bitty bitties because 32 is the magic number, but you guys don't have to. And that is it. If this stream made you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, go ahead and show that follow button some love. You can follow me on Twitter, Crash Coke, and you can check out some of my videos on YouTube. I've kind of started mumbling and putting that into one word. Some of the videos. That's it. Thanks for watching, and always remember the key to happiness is